Hello class 6. Now today four friends, new Radiant readers. Now it is part 2 of actually it is also part 2. Part 1 I completed, but of the story part 2. Part 1 I finished, that is at the end the deer joined in the group of tortoise, mouse and raven. Now this in part 2 in my next class I explained the story that day. Again I want to mention little bit, that is four friends lived happily till one day they found that the deer was missing. Now they searched here and there, ultimately the raven found that the deer was trapped in the tortoise in the hunter's net. Now the mouse shouted that the mouse can help the deer. Then the raven helped the mouse to reach at the spot. Then when the mouse nibbled at the net as fast he could, and soon the deer was free. The deer conveyed his thanks to the raven, but as the mouse was about to mount the raven, and three of them saw that the old tortoise was coming slowly. Then they said, "Why you are coming here? The hunter would come and your life would be in danger." Suddenly they saw that the hunter with a bow and arrow and a bag swinging over his shoulder. The clever raven rose to the occasion, listened carefully, and said, "You had better pretend to be lame and try to lure the hunter towards you. As you run towards the forest, you better pretend to be lame and ran away towards the forest." To the tortoise he said, "You slow coach, pretend to hide inside your shell, but try to attract the attention as far you, my friend, because you try to you hide yourself within the shell. Now pretend to hide inside your shell." Now that the hunter would positively look at the tortoise. The hunter, as predicted by the cunning raven, stopped as he saw the deer. He also saw the tortoise, and instead of chasing the deer, he said that, "Okay, today there would be a great feast." Now, delicious feast for the tortoise. Now, as the deer has not seen me yet, let me handle the tortoise first, the hunter said. He tied him up in his bag and left it near the tree and turned towards the deer. "Ah, here you are," said he, and chased it. The deer, who had pretended it had not seen the hunter, became alert and lured the hunter, who went with his arrows. Now suddenly the deer left the open space and dashed into the jungle, the hunter chasing him in vain. In the meanwhile, the mouse had already nibbled at the string of the bag and imprisoned. Actually, what happened? The hunter caught the tortoise and trapped him in his bag. Now, and then he chased the deer. And at that time the mouse nibbled the bag and freed the tortoise. Now the hunter chased the deer, but it was in vain. He could not catch the deer, and the tortoise was also free. And tortoise, it is nature of the tortoise to move slowly and steadily, move towards the forest. The raven came down and offered a lift to the mouse and fled to safety, leaving the greedy hunter only to dream about the deer meat and the rich turtle soup. Okay, now my students, today the few meaning. I am giving the meaning not from the book, so write it very carefully. Number 1, trapped. Trapped, trapped dash, confined, comma, catch. Number 2, nibbled, nibbled, nibble dash, take a small bites of, take a small bites of. 3, scamper, scamper, scamper dash, run with quick small steps, run with quick small steps. Loitered, T-E-R-E-D, loitered means wait. L-U-R-E, lure, dash, tempt, comma, to do something. Again I am repeating, trap, T-R-A-P-P-E-D, trap, dash, confine, comma, catch, nibbled, take a small bites of, scamper, S-C-A-M-P-E-R, run with quick small steps, loitered, wait. 5. Lure, comma, dash, tempt, comma, to do something. Now question answer. Number 1, who were the 4 friends? Right? Who were the 4 friends? Answer, 4 friends were mouse, tortoise, raven and deer. Mouse, tortoise, raven and deer. Question number 2, what happened to the deer? Right. One day, the 4 friends couldn't find the deer. They searched high and low and finally they found the deer entrapped by the hunter in his net. So number 2 question, one day the 4 friends couldn't find the deer, full stop. They searched high and low and finally they found the deer entrapped, E-N-T-R-A-P-P-E-D, entrapped by the hunter in his net. Question number 3, who found it? The raven found it. The raven found it. Who came forward to help the deer? The mouse, riding on the raven's back, came to the spot to help the deer. Now again, who came forward to help the deer? The mouse, riding on the riding on the raven's back, came to the spot to help the deer. 5. How the deer reached at the spot? The raven helped the mouse to reach the spot. The mouse rode on the back of the raven and reached the spot. These two answer is more or less similar. Okay, you have to write it. Number 5 question, how the deer reached at the spot? Answer is, the raven helped the mouse to reach the spot. The mouse rode on the back of the raven and reached the spot. Now again I am repeating the question and the answer. Question number 1, who were the 4 friends? 4 friends were mouse, tortoise, raven and deer. Were the 4 friends. What happened to the deer? One day the 4 friends couldn't find the deer. They searched high and low and finally they found the deer entrapped by the hunter in his net. Who found it? The raven. Who found it? The raven found the deer entrapped in the hunter's net. The raven found it. The raven found it. The student who likes to write, you may add it. The raven find the deer entrapped in the hunter's net. Next, who came forward to help the deer? The raven, the mouse came forward to help the deer. Now, how the deer came? The mouse came forward to help the deer. Okay. Or you may add also the mouse riding on the raven's back came to the spot to help the deer. Next, how the deer reached at the spot? How the deer reached at the spot? Now answer will be how the mouse reached at the spot. Question number 5 will be how the mouse reached at the spot. How the mouse reached at the spot. The raven helped the mouse to reach the spot. The mouse rode on the back of the raven and reached the spot. The raven helped the mouse to reach the spot. The mouse rode on the back of the raven and reached the spot. Now this today up till this. Next day again I will teach you that is the remaining part of the story and remaining part and few questions. Okay. Thank you today.